Alrighty. Hello, everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before I do begin, let me give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku. We also had his party. Now, after 6 weeks of being around York and being at Fort Stonefen, the party is quite tired. Right now, after returning back to the capital, if not returning to Granola, they have gotten some time off. Right now, Deku found out he's on standby from the king, because there may be a political situation happening, and the Fae are quite unpleased with it. Now, Deku, other than being annoyed about this, realized he still owed Pyra a date for everything that happened with Aerodos. And now that they've got some time off, he might be able to do just that. He went to go see Rosita. She is a powerful mage, and after talking with her, he found out that he could gather ingredients for a magic circle, or potentially get her magical items that can help increase her power. The spell Deku is hoping to cast is quite powerful, since instead of traveling 2 weeks by horse or carriage, he could arrive in the city in the snap of an eye, or in the snap of your fingers. I messed it up. I meant blink of an eye. Anyways, now, this meant quite a bit. Deku, he got a list of the magical items and the magical ingredients. And Rosita, she was still quite alarmed to see Deku run out that door. The young man she was adventuring with, is becoming strong. He's been in their world for, how long is it now? Over 8 months? And she was still surprised. He's becoming more powerful than some of the guards. And that says quite a bit about what Theodore's been putting him through. And speaking of Theodore, he gave Deku a list of magic spells he wants him to learn. One of them was called Demiplane. And one thing he also gave Deku was a summoning circle. It will do quite a bit. But right now, Deku, he's not really too concerned with that. He's more concerned with gathering these ingredients and possibly items. And with that being said, let's currently pick up with him. Deku, he's been searching around. These items aren't exactly very easy. He's looked at a few magic shops, and right now, yeah, that's a little bit more troubling. He's not sure the right word, but it's been troublesome. Currently, Deku going to sit down for a minute, drinking from a water skin on his waist as he does try to think. Looking at this list. Okay, so... some of these items he might be able to find on a hunt? I mean, where do you get jackalopes honey? Chimera oil. That one's a bit more interesting. I mean, would you have to go to a dungeon to find a chimera? He doesn't know if they run around naturally, and that's another story entirely. If he's right, isn't that thing like a mixed bag of animals? This on his mind. And Izuku, when he does go to have that thought, he does go to turn. Right now, him going to stand up and make his way down the road. Him absently walking, for he to look up and see a shop. Him recognizing it the same one that did make his armor. Stepping inside for a minute, since while he's passing by, he might as well. And when the man does go see Deku, he does go to do a double take. Because right now the young lad is not wearing gear. And whenever Deku does a walk up asking about what he can do, he does go to tell the man that he did take on quite a bit of damage. And the man, he does just won't laugh this off. Not thinking it could be that bad. But whenever Deku does to pull the items out of his inventory, The man does a stare on. There's a straight hole in the front of the armor, bigger than his fist. And, well, this is insane. Him going to turn, seeing that one of the sleeves, yeah, they do have a tear inside of it. Him asking exactly, what did he fight? And Izuku does his own try and laugh this off. The man looking at the way the metal on the outside layer punched into the leather. And this does somewhat terrify him. However, he does look up, asking Izuku if he wants him to repair it or make another set. If you could repair it, please. I can leave the resources with you, correct? I can do that, but, I may have to outsource this to a mage I know. They're quite powerful, but yes, maybe a restoration spell. Restoration? Are you thinking mending? Yes, that is the one. It is quite a useful spell. Do you know it? No, I don't think I do. Deku trying to think, going over his mental list of spells before he does think about one he got recently. Going to pull out his notebook and go to flip through the pages and things Theodore he did give him the other day. And right now, it means a bit. Before he does a shuffle through the pages and not find it. Him a little annoyed as the man does talk about it. Okay, he'll get this fixed, but it will cost him about 3 gold. Deku going to set it on the counter and wave off the man, who does gonna turn back to the armor and just stare at it for a second. Since this, it's gonna be his whole day. And as Deku does to walk out, he does a turn, looking around town and getting a good look at it. This is Granala, a lovely, vibrant, beautiful city. It's peaceful in a way. You can hear the blacksmith over there, smell the bread from the bakery over there, and there's hints of something in the air. He doesn't know what it is, but it smells so much like cinnamon and honey mixed together. It's got this strange, strong flavor, but this weird smoothness to it. It's hard for him to describe. Deku making his way down the road, as he does try to keep an eye out for any shops he might need to go to. He knows that there's an alchemist shop somewhere, a place to head to, and okay. Him looking around as someone they are currently staying there. Them going to do a few things as Deku, he is still staring down. Him going to bring his hand up as he does go to grab the person by the arm, and they do immediately turn looking at him. Deku turning his head and talking about it. Being a thief might not be a good idea. Return what he stole. And the person does go stare at Deku, as they were currently sliding a bag into their new quote-unquote possession. And Deku, he does a turn, grabbing the bag and going to look back at the man who he stole it from. And Deku does turn to the man, talking about it. He'll give him about 5 seconds. Who are you? Listen, I'm Izuku. You're the hero. Oh yeah. Man turning. And when he does notice Deku holding the bag, he does a look directly at the man across from him. The guy turning as Deku does a turn to him, tossing him the bag, talking about how he got his coin back. And the man, he does go to catch the bag and look at the thief. The man turning and going to run through the crowd. Deku watching him pull up his cloak as the guy does go sprinting after him. And Deku does get out of the way of this towering man. Now, Deku does a turn, thinking about intervening, however, aware that that is a matter of the people. If he gets involved, it'll get more complicated. His word's more powerful than he wants to admit. Though, maybe you should. Excuse me. Deku hearing a small voice, turning his head, and seeing an older woman. Her holding up a cup as Deku, he does a stare at her eyes, which are glazed over and absent. She's blind. This is catching him by surprise, as the old woman does express, holding out her hand as Deku does get to see it. Hello? Yes, could you offer me aid, please? Sorry, I forget things in my old age. I'm absent of coin. I need help. Oh, sure. Deku reaching into his bag, asking how much she does need. And when she was going to tell Deku that if he could spare something, that would be nice. She was hoping to buy a gift for her granddaughter. However, she cannot find the shop around here either. And Deku does get a turn. Right now him expressing, bringing his hand up, and setting a gold coin in her hand. He can give her this. It should cover most things around here. I mean, unless she's trying to buy something very fancy. Ooh. Gold? Why are you giving me gold? You need gold. Or, well, you need money. I'm still learning your guys' currency. Ah, you are the hero. Yes. Though, please not so loud. Usually people like to draw a crowd to me. I see. Do you not like the attention? Sometimes, but not today. But I know that there's a shop down the road. Deku bring his hand up, and the old woman, she has to grab him by his arm. Her holding onto his arm as Deku does match her pace. And when he does get to the shop, he does go step in and tell the shopkeeper that this woman is looking for a gift for her granddaughter. He's giving him gold, and he doesn't want them to con her, since she is blind. And the man, the moment he does see Deku waving around gold, he immediately gets into action. Him trying to help out and expressing about what they might be able to get him. Deku checking the prices, he does see things labeled as. And the man, he is trying to recommend very interesting toys. Him going to show off a figure that does go to somewhat dwindle with a bit of magic. It looking like a, wooden doll that can come to life. Running around and doing a few things. It dancing around as it does go to stop. And Deku does get to see that. Him quite intrigued by this little creation. Before he has a turn and see one of a wooden dragon. Staring at that before he has a turn and look at one that does seem oddly strange. Deku walking over and seeing a ball of goo. Him asking about this. And the man, he does get to walk over and express that that is an interesting thing. Going to bring his head up and talk about it. They do use slime. Whenever they do refine the material and mix it with a few items, it does become him pulling it apart and showing that it does stretch. However, he does that turn and go to bounce it against the table as it does go to effortlessly move its way back to his hand. And Deku just stare at that. Him expressing, it's pliable but solid. Quite the interesting little thing, isn't it? No magic involved. It's alchemy. And the man does smile at that. aware that this is still quite an interesting creation. He himself, having one he owns. And Deku, he has to turn to the old woman. Her going to set the gold coin on the counter and step out of the shop with something. Deku going to turn. Him going to ask what she got. And someone else at the counter does a turn, waving their hand and expressing that she got what she needed. That's what she said. And he doesn't understand. Deku going to walk out and look around, not seeing the woman, however, going to smile, turning his head and seeing the alchemy shop across this little plaza. And he does go to run over. Him going to try and avoid the crowd as much as he can and step into the building. The man inside going to look up and see a person in civilian clothing, thinking that it could have been an adventurer. However, when he does see that scar on Deku's lip and then see something shiny moving from his chest, he does get to recognize that medallion. Him going to shoot up a bit more since that it's incredible. A druidic medallion. Right now, him gonna watch Deku look at a few items, looking at the list in his hand as he does go to look around. Going to check a few things out before he does go to see something glow. Him pulling out a vial of glowing sand. And Deku does stare at that before looking down, seeing that what he needs may not be enough. Okay, how much do they have this here? Oh, they have the... Deku holding up a large glowing glass flask of the material. As he does go stare at this. Are you finding everything that you need? Oh, sorry. I'm trying to do something important. Do you guys have any more of the ground monostone? We have a few items, but we don't exactly get ground monostone. They're usually used for crystals in the kingdom. I see. That's annoying. Do you guys have any more of them in bulk? I mean, these flasks here, I don't know if I can really buy all of them. They may not work. I see. Well, we only have a one flask policy, sir. It's just how it is with our depletion of mana. I see. Well, I need a lot more than I think there's here, but if I can only take one, that does complicate things. Do you guys have chimera oil? A jackalope's honey? I see. What are you trying to create exactly? What are you doing? It's hard to explain. Do you guys have any ash cane? Oh, I see. You need ground mana and... Let me guess. Do you need magical items as well? Potentially. Is it obvious what I'm trying to make? It is quite obvious, yes. Though, we don't have anything... Well, we do have the chimera oil, but usually that is used for armament and artillery. But we should have more. I know we just got a shipment in early, but give me a second. The man walking out. Him makes his way into the back room and coming out with some chimera oil. Him going to hold up some ash cane, talking about it. He does have this as well, though unfortunately the jackalope's honey they do not have. You wouldn't happen to know a shop that does have any? Unfortunately, no. I don't think that we can actually have that ingredient. It can be quite iffy for potions. I see. That sucks. But, what about some herbs for mana potions? The man turning, pointing out to some dry leaves that do sit out, along with some strange looking grass Deku is going to see. Him walking over, looking at them and going to turn his head, looking around the area for any of the other ingredients on this list. And he does try to think, asking if he can get those put on hold for him. The man nodding, but talking about it. You can hold them for till tomorrow. Usually people like to come through after adventuring, and they do like to stock up. He can't hold them for very long. He does try to run through supply quickly, and he does usually tend to try and keep up with that. He's running a business here. I understand. My name is Zuku, and I just need you to hold them for tomorrow. You're Zuku. Yes, I am. The hero is in my shop. I'll hold them for as long as you need. I mean, you can just take them. I mean, no, sorry. Just please hold them for me. That's all I need. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do this. I can look into getting jackalopes honey. I mean, that's all I can do. I can see about it, but you might need to check with the guild. Him nodding his head, aware as to how much more of a pain this might be, though he does gonna head to a weapon shop. Him trying to see about the magical items that Rosita might need. And yeah, some giant mana crystals, no good. Then there's the fact that there's a magic staff that's a bit overpriced. However, Deku, he might be able to channel mana well with that. And Rosita, she's better at it than him. So hopefully she could actually fulfill that ability. Okay, but he would need the staff, he would need the chalk, then he would need the source of mana, the powerful stone. Okay. Him walking in. And when the man does go see Deku, who is eyeing the staff in the window, he does ask him if he's here to buy it. It will be about 10 gold. How powerful is it? I'd say it's quite good. The giant crystal does allow it to channel many forms of mana. It's naturally comprised for about 6 of the 8 primaries, but it should be good for the subclasses. I see. Okay, but could it work for, I don't know, divination? Calling upon powers like that? It should be sturdy enough. Adventures came through a while back and I did test it. It's quite the powerful item. Him walking over, going to grab it and talk about it. Hell. The spellcaster who he saw wielding this thing, he thought they were practically an arch freaking mage when he scanned them. Scan them? Yep. You do this job for long enough, you start to pick up the ability to read some items. Nifty little trick I learned. A little bit of magic, but yeah. Him handing it over to Deku, talking about it. Don't get any funny ideas. Him gesturing to the wide shop. And Deku does gonna nod his head. Before, he has a hold his staff in both hands. It's interesting. It's almost druidic. It's wooden but sturdy. And then there's the fact that the giant crystal above. It's almost like a crystal ball. But no, it's not. Him holding it up. And the staff, it does begin to move around and shift. Deku going to somewhat try to let it go, but the staff does cling to his wrist. Deku going to stare at that as the man does talk about it. Easy, easy. That's normal. What is it? It's a staff. Magical, in fact. One thing that it does is it will always return to its owner. It uses your magic, keeps itself in shape, sturdy, and proper. Plus, it's trying to resize to the shape of you, so that it's never off balance. I see. And you said that the crystal on top, you can do quite a lot, depending on what you need for it, though. Can't say I know a lot about the forms of magic, but that thing is special, unique. I got a feeling about that staff, and it is interesting. Haven't seen anything like that since my daddy ran the store. I see. No, it is a interesting staff. Deku going to let his magic flow into it. And when the ball does go to light up a bit, Deku, he does feel it. It's storing his magic. He can feel it. Huh. It's incredible. It's lightweight, a little off. Not too heavy, but yeah. He can focus magic better with this. He can feel it almost like it's a part of his hand. Right, no, Pyro would definitely need this. Though, no, she would love this too, but crap. He needs to give this to Rosita. Okay, the Elven Kingdom should have more magical items. Hopefully, you can get her something good there. Though, this is for the surprise, so hopefully she doesn't get jealous. Then on his mind, him going to give a little bit of a crooked smile, or he does a turn back to the man, talking about it. He'll take it. And the man, he does tell Izuku that will be about 8 gold. Him going to pay the man and going to put the staff in his inventory. Walking away as the guy does get a little dumbfounded, since that was weird. And Izuku, he does leave, heading to the guild hall and trying to see if he can possibly find a way to either get mana crystals or, well, find the ingredients. He might be hunting for a minute, and that will definitely be a bit more of a problem. Now, when Deku does get to the guild, he does go to check over the quest board, potentially finding an area where creatures are gathering because of a powerful source of mana. And this, yeah, is exactly what he needs to find. If they're trying to dig up mana stones and eat them, that could be an issue. Though, it also gives him the chance to slay a powerful beast that does contain mana, and take what he needs for the ritual. Yeah, this will be perfect. If it's flowing with enough magic power, then they can use it to fuel the spell. Though getting back might be a different beast entirely. Then on his mind, the wind flowing through his hair as he's flying through the air, thinking about a lot. Okay. What should he do? How should he handle this? Going to send out a pulse of search magic, trying to see exactly where the creatures might be. And Izuku, he does float there in the air, sending out another magic pulse, and then going to look around. Before he does, gonna do it a third time, and gonna turn and stop. As right now they do get to float there in the air directly in front of him. Well now, what are you doing? You're Atrig. I see. I did not hear a Sir Atrig in front of that. You're here. Why? How? I didn't even sense you. You're Izuku. I am Atrig. Now we are properly introduced. I have to say, I've taken an interest in what you're doing. And what are you doing right now? I'm searching for something. Sir Atrig. That is better. Now, what are you trying to accomplish? I've seen you try to hunt for the last hour or so, but that has not done much. You're trying to track something. Specific? A beast? May I help? Um, why? Well, that is interesting. People don't usually try to deny me. But you're asking why. It's quite simple. I can help you on your quest. I feel the need for it. My daughter wishes to help you. I'm. I understand, but why does she want to come along with me? A few reasons. In fact, I have encouraged her to do this. Hero, you need a favor, and I would like this opportunity to fall into place nicely. Now, him going to fly forwards and bring his hand to Deku's shoulder. Deku tensing for a minute as the two do to disappear in a bright flash. Them going to sit there in a booth. Deku looking around, confused before he does realize that that was teleportation magic. How did we... Dragon magic. I know. No, wait. Is that a different type? You know I'm a dragon, then. I sort of figured that out. But how are you doing that? A simple little spell. Once cast, I can hold this form for days. I've gotten quite good at it over the years. Him turning, as someone does a set down 2 cups of tea and gonna set down a kettle. Atrig gonna thank the old woman as he has to turn back to Deku, telling him to drink. And Deku does still stare on, a little surprised, as the dragon does tell him. Right now he's overcomplicating a few things. What is he hunting and why is he doing this? What is his current quest? As far as he's aware, his student has put him on hold for training for a minute. How do you know that? I'm a dragon boy. Try to keep up. I have access to many realms of information. I talk to Theodore regularly. He does ask me for advice. Now, him gonna sip his mug as he does gonna talk about it. Sitting down the glass as he does express. This is going to be quite simple. He wants his daughter to join the hero's party. It will teach her quite a few things. He heard that Indra was disrespected by him. She felt belittled and even in a position where he had to save her life. She was nearly killed by an ogre, and her wings were damaged. Along with that, she was not in control of any combat situation. She nearly had her soul ripped out by a Nambasu. Does that sound familiar? I mean, yes, it does. The ogre, it damaged her wings. It messed a few of us up, so I told her to fall back. I was still in good fighting condition, and I don't know how dragon wings operate. I see. You didn't want to take the risk. Dragons are quite powerful and sturdy, though what you did was correct on that part. Now, him going to express, bring up his hand. What he did was simple. He treated his daughter fairly, something she's never had before. He does not put up with her because he has spoiled her a little much. Okay. Yes. Treat my daughter as you would treat any other. She needs this lesson in life. And when she does start her own proper horde, perhaps she'll understand that the presence and aura of a dragon is meant to be what it is. I do not want her to be arrogant. I do not want her to be self-centered. See people as below. Why? Her mother. Deku taken aback from it. Her mother? If you have noticed, she is half dragon. I just thought that was a spell. No. Half dragon, half human. Him going to someone, look down at his tea and stir it with a claw. Deku seeing the appendage as he does talk about it. It is quite the tale. He met a human woman, and he became intrigued. It taught him a lot about mortals. It taught him a lot about many things. Though, she is only one of 2 mortals he's met in his life that have put into perspective many things. Over his long, long life, he's met many people who have tried to kill him. He's seen the rise and fall of empires. The passage of time has practically lost many meanings to him. But he was given a reminder about how to enjoy life. You were. Yes. One day a fool showed up to kill me. Can you guess his name? I think I can. But I don't know if that would be possible from what I've seen so far. I mean, Theodore is so far ahead of me, and the way he acted when you walked into the room. Could he beat you? Not a chance. He's still far too inexperienced. The only man who ever successfully, showed me I was getting rusty was a human. Uso Drusen. Powerful. He had the chance to slay me, take my life, yet he spared me. He was an interesting one. When I inquired, he was kind. Something I wasn't sure of in mortals. He saw that I no longer wanted to fight, and he left. Later, I traveled to a city. That was where I met her. Why are you telling me this? Because, Dragonslayer, Deku immediately going to freeze. You think that you have power. Do not let it go to your head. You are strong. You were chosen by a deity. But I have seen ancient things die. I have seen many things in my life. You are just a mortal. And be aware. The challenges you have faced only get bigger, stronger, and deadlier. In fact, let me tell you of one creature that may rival the dragons, other than the titans. And that would be a Tarask. Deku looking at the man, who does begin to describe the creature. Massive, unholy, and a force of nature. Practically unkillable. Practically. It's quite a powerful entity. And they are lucky. They're exclusive. And one of the only ones he knows that does remain alive today. It is sealed away. Though he does not know how many more have been sealed with the passage of time. In fact, he does look forward to seeing one again, when one of those seals does finally break. If his friend was alive today, they would have loved to test their mettle against it. That's insane. Yes, it is. But that's what it is. Taking your life into your own hands. Do you not feel it when you adventure? You swing around your weapon and you fight for your very existence. What does it feel like to you? I don't know. You enjoy conflict. You can admit that. Though a man told me it is losing yourself to the conflict that you have to worry about. That is what it is. You can always be better. Do the right thing. Be kind. If your enemy surrenders, then let them surrender. That's really interesting. What was Druso like? He was the best of us. And he died on the battlefield. Well now, here I am getting sentimental. And that was not why I brought you here. Him bringing his hand up and going to slide two things across the table, telling the young hero, here. He hates to interrupt his quest, but now he has lost patience. Oh, what are these? Teleportation circles. They're using my magic, and they're already infused. Burn the circle, and you will get a portal to where you want to go. But I want to go to the Elvis Kingdom. If I use this, then I might wind up a few miles away. Perhaps. Then why don't you step outside? Him gonna turn and look out the window, noticing a lot of things out here. And this, it does kind of intrigue him. Deku stepping out as the man does go sip his tea, him hiding a smile behind his cup. And when Deku does come walking back in, he does express they are in the Elvish city, though they're not in the one he's thinking of. They are close by, the next city over. This place has an excellent tea shop. An old friend of his does live here. Seriously? This is incredible. So, I can fly to the next city and then bring Pyra there. Yes. Though, him gonna hold up a third. Talking about it. This one is for emergency use only. He has given him 3. 1 to go to the Elvish city. 1 to go back to Granola. And 1 to go for his party. If his daughter is traveling with the hero, he's expecting her to get into trouble. And he is expecting her to do something stupid. She is a dragon. She will follow instincts. That is only inevitable. This circle is only for emergency use, in case they are all in danger. And he does want him to understand. If he does use it, make sure everyone is nearby. If he does get his daughter killed, him gonna reappear in front of Deku and bring a hand up to his neck, a claw touching his throat as he's a look Deku in the eye, without any hesitation in saying, he does not care if a god chose him. Even if he is smited, he will hunt him down and take his debt. In blood. And Deku, he almost pisses himself, as the man does get a tap this directly to his chest. And Deku, he does disappear. Him going to fall through the air and smash down a fountain. Him going to look around and sit up, before he does go to turn his head and find himself in the courtyard of the castle in Granola. He's back. Him standing up. And whenever he does gonna climb out of the fountain, there is where Oliver and a few other people do come running up. One of the maids asking if Surizuku is quite alright. I'm fine, sorry. I, wow, I'm really back here already. Deku gonna turn, quite concerned about the fountain as he's a look at the two tickets in his hand. And they're both completely dry, even though his shirt is soaking wet. Right now, him going to take it off and then go to begin wringing it out. One of the maids running up and asking if he does need fresh clothes. Him turning and handing her the shirt, talking about it. He can handle that himself. Thanks anyways though, but he's got a few things to do. Turning and going to run. Heading back to the mage tower to give this staff to Rosita. And he does need to get Pyra. Since if they're going to go to the Elvish Kingdom, yeah. He's going to give her a bit of a warning, let the king know, and then go on his day. Go on his date. And this Deku, he is quite happy about, since he does have a few ideas for where they could go. Though Oliver, he might need to refresh him on some of them. That being the second thing that does pass through his mind. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day.